And good morning. Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. This morning we are talking about the importance of blood donation. Did you know that one donation of blood can help save the lives of up to 3 people? Meredith Forrester, an incredible story. Meredith is with us right now, and Meredith benefited greatly. She's alive today because people were donating blood. Meredith, it is so good to have you here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we want to clarify something very quick. I know at the beginning of the show we said gays and lesbians could not donate blood. That is not the case. Lesbians can, openly gay men cannot donate blood. We want to make sure that is correct and corrected. All right, very good. Meredith, take me back 13 years ago. You were freshly out of college, and what happened?
I was at my first job. I was studying to get one of my brokerage licenses, and Mark Barton came into my office and began shooting everyone in sight.
And you were shot once.
Yes, I was shot once.
But this was a bullet that apparently when it hit your body, it basically mushroomed and exploded inside of your body, and you were losing blood and you were almost dead. You get rushed to the hospital, and what happens then?
Well, I was actually very lucky because the bullet stayed in my abdomen, and so the blood pooled inside of my body, and so no blood came out. If it had broken through my abdomen, I would have died instantly.
You would have bled out.
So I thought I was fine until I got into the hospital, and they put me under, and I don't remember anything for about a week.
But what you do remember now looking back is that did they or did they not have enough blood for you that day?
They did have enough blood for me that day, thank goodness. I found out later that 2 days before the shooting, they didn't have enough blood on hand, let alone the type that I needed. And
we were talking about earlier just kind of the facts of blood donations, that blood does have a shelf life. And in that case, if you had been shot 2 days earlier, the shelf life, a lot of the blood just wasn't there for you. And you wouldn't have been around long enough for them to bring in blood from other areas, right?
That's correct.
All right, so we've been talking about Amy Copeland here, and I want to give our viewers a little bit of a perspective about how much blood somebody needs for an emergency like you. Amy Copeland has needed 300 pints of blood for her multiple surgeries. How many pints of blood did you need?
I needed 115.
All right, and you were kind of educating me and schooling me about how much blood the human body naturally carries around with it. And what is that?
Typically 10 to 12 pints.
Wow, that is incredible.
So Amy needed 30 times what the human body holds. I mean, that's...
You know, that's incredible. When you go out there, and now you're drawn and you do a lot of volunteering for the Red Cross, right? Do you go around the country and share your story? And if 3 out of every 100 people are donating, that is not a lot of people.
It's not. And, you know, chances are there's about a 95% chance that every single one of us is going to need a pint of blood during our life. So it's our job, it's our responsibility to ensure that there is a blood supply. You can't manufacture blood, and you can't take it from animals. You have to get it from donors. So if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah, when you go around the country, and I would assume, right, I would assume just by listening to your story, that would want to motivate me to go to a blood drive and donate blood, knowing that, you know, your blood will be used. I mean, it's likely that it will be used and it'll save a life. I mean, have you noticed that going around telling your story around the country?
I do. People want something that they can see and they can feel and that they can relate to. I mean, I was a healthy kid right out of college. I got shot randomly, and I had a 1 in 1,000 chance of survival. Didn't think I was going to walk again. I ended up getting married. I have 2 kids. I mean, I feel like I'm a miracle, and I'm so grateful to the Red Cross. They never asked anything in return for the blood. I do this all voluntarily. I would do anything for the Red Cross and for those 115 donors who donated blood anonymously and saved my life.
Yeah, it is incredible. I think that you're right when you put a human angle on it, and you can see where donating blood has saved your life, and it did save your life. And likely when you go out there and you donate blood, you're going to be saving somebody else's life. And we're not just talking about elective surgeries, right? We're talking about people in emergency situations, like yourself. You had no idea what was about to happen to you that day. You got gunned down by some random guy, and the blood, thankfully, had the blood that they needed.
And how many people have cancer?
Right.
Cancer, car accidents, I mean, open heart transplants, other organ transplants, open heart surgery. There's just so many reasons people need blood.
In an ideal world, and now that you're working with the Red Cross, should people be able to, should it be more accessible for somebody to donate blood rather than having to hold, we're going to have a blood drive on this certain date? Because I just kind of feel that if you're only holding blood drives on, once every 2 weeks, if there was something more accessible saying, hey, I've got some downtime on this Thursday, there's a place where I can go to donate blood. Does that even exist?
It does. We have donor centers throughout Metro Atlanta. There's one in Midtown. There's one in Alpharetta. If you go to redcrossblood.org, you can see all the donor centers. So you can go. They're open any day of the week. You can go and donate. You can set an appointment or you can walk in.
Well, and that is good news. It's kind of getting out there and spreading the word that you don't have to wait to watch a program, right, to watch a TV saying, hey, we're going to have this huge blood drives, but that blood is constantly being taken, and it is much needed. Just out of curiosity, what did you think of the whole Amy Copeland story? I mean, that is a freak accident, right, where this young girl was on a zip line. As freakishly as yours, right? This girl had no idea what was about to happen to her. And we've seen these blood drives happen all across the state, one school kind of challenging the other. Your take on it?
I think it's horrible what happened to her, and my heart goes out to her and her family, but I really love how they have made lemonade out of lemons. I mean, they really have. They're collecting blood, and without the blood, she wouldn't be here today. She's got a tough road ahead of her, but she's alive and she's a fighter, and she had that opportunity because of the blood. And now she's making sure that there's a blood supply available to others who need it. I mean, I think it's amazing.
Did you ever donate blood before you had your emergency, or was this something that kind of changed your life in a way that now you're donating blood, or did you donate before?
I did, but not very frequently, and I didn't really think much of it. Now I'm a regular donor. It took 10 years after the shooting for me to be able to donate, so now I am, and now I am a dedicated, devoted donor.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, don't even know the kind of the regulations on how often they can donate. If you're in high school, they just kind of do it whenever the high school holds a blood drive, and they'll do it for a week, and then it's really unheard of until the next year. It's kind of an annual thing, at least it was for me in high school, and maybe what they do is, they get a couple of high schools and they do it every 2 months, and those who can donate will donate. Right? If we can get college campuses to hold regular blood drives instead of annual blood drives, I think that would get us to kind of a better place. Right?
I agree. More blood drives, the better.
Yeah, we like it. Meredith, it was great talking to you and kind of hearing your story and hearing your survival story. And it really comes down to the fact that people donated blood and saved your life. All right, very good. Thank you for being here today. Stay with us. We're coming right back to wrap up the show.